Melissa McCarthy's is one of the most remarkable and inspirational examples of Hollywood's transformation. Melissa's quick wit, humorous timing, and life-sized roles have always made her stand out. But these days, people are talking about more than simply her shows. It's the whole transformation of her. From the way she thinks to the way she looks, Melissa is creating waves in the greatest manner possible. This is something you should not miss. On August 26, 1970, Melissa Ann McCarthy was born in Plainfield, a tiny town in Illinois. The bright lights and red carpets of Hollywood were a far cry from the world she grew up in. She and her brothers were raised in a traditional Catholic home on a working family farm. They were taught the virtues of diligence, modesty, and family harmony, all of which aided her in her incredible career. She was raised in a caring and secure environment by her parents, Sandra and Michael McCarthy, which influenced the development of the woman who would go on to become one of the most well-known and well-liked comedy actors in America. Growing up on a farm, Melissa enjoyed daily labor, an abundance of open space, and the kind of tight family ties that are becoming increasingly rare in today's hectic society. No matter how well-known or prosperous she gets, she learned from her country upbringing how crucial it is to maintain a connection to her heritage and never lose sight of her origins. The McCarthy family has a history in humor and theater, which many people are unaware of. Melissa is the cousin of model and actress Jenny McCarthy. Acting is therefore a family trait. Given her family's history in the entertainment business, I believe Melissa's innate sense of humor and interpersonal skills may have been ingrained in her from birth. In addition to some German and English ancestry, Melissa's family tree dates back to County Cork, Ireland. This is an excellent illustration of the varied cultural backgrounds of immigrant families in the United States who have built their lives on perseverance, hard work, and trust in the American dream. After graduating from St. Francis Academy, now known as Joliet Catholic Academy, located in Joliet, Illinois, Melissa took her first step toward college by enrolling at Southern Illinois University, Carbondale. Her Catholic school placed a strong emphasis on community service, moral responsibility, and treating others with kindness and respect in addition to academic achievement. Melissa, however, quickly found it impossible to resist the allure of humor and performing. Her creativity and talent came effortlessly to her. She struggled to decide between the fascinating and uncharted realm of entertainment that beckoned to her creative spirit and the secure and predictable path of graduating from college and beginning a typical career. It was by no means quick, glamorous, or simple to go from being a farm girl in a little village to a Hollywood star. Melissa began at the absolute bottom of the entertainment industry by performing harsh stand-up comedy in Los Angeles, just like many other aspiring performers before and after her. Those were difficult times, with late evenings spent performing for audiences who weren't always kind, helpful, or supportive of up-and-coming artists attempting to find their sound in tiny, nearly always deserted clubs. After learning a lot in the Los Angeles comedy scene, she eventually traveled to New York City, which is regarded as the comedy capital of the world. Compared to the West Coast, she discovered that the New York comedy industry was more challenging and sometimes more lucrative. Every night, she had to prove herself in front of some of the nation's most intelligent, resilient, and discriminating individuals. She got her big break in the entertainment industry thanks to the Groundlings, a well-known Los Angeles-based improvised and sketch comedy group. This group has helped many comedians get their start over the years. Many of them went on to feature in major Hollywood films and appear on Saturday Night Live. Melissa immediately plunged into the collaborative, creative environment with a degree of zeal and commitment that set her apart from other aspiring artists. At the Groundlings, she received extensive and rigorous instruction. In addition to performing comedies, she gained experience in writing, character development, and, above all, live performance agility. These abilities served as the foundation for Melissa's later career actions, which enabled her to give each role she performed nuance and realism. However, Melissa discovered a whole new and surprising aspect of performance art while she was in New York City. Fans who are only familiar with her well-known work might have been most surprised by this. She even attended the renowned Wigstock Festival while performing as a drag queen under the imaginative stage name Miss Y. This experience helped her establish the bold, unguarded style to humor and acting that would become her hallmark, even though it was vastly different from her later big-time success in Hollywood. Melissa, who is currently 54 years old, continues to inspire, astound, and thrill people worldwide with her diverse music selection and constant commitment to her craft. She is still at the top of her comedy game after more than 20 years in the business, as seen by her most recent appearance on Saturday Night Live. Melissa stole the event with a parking spot war skit that people talked about for days on the show, celebrating Martin Short's entrance into the elite Five-Timers Club and Audici, accolade she already possesses herself, placing her among a very select few performers. Melissa's portrayal as Martin Short's wife in the well-known sketch was unforgettable. It was a cleverly constructed and outrageous piece. Fans and other artists were raving about her on social media because of her complete dedication and flawless comedic timing when she spit iced coffee at a car window, wiped it off with her shirt, and made up a number of false threats. In the comments on Instagram and Twitter, people applauded Melissa McCarthy for her performance and stated it was likely the funniest thing to happen on Saturday Night Live in years. This performance showcased Melissa's ability in all its glory, her ability to locate genuine human truth in even the most absurd situations, her flawless timing, and her willingness to put her all into physical humor. It served as a reminder to everyone of her continued significance, popularity, and demand over the years. Throughout her career, Melissa has made this distinct style of bold and astute physical humor her signature. She has consistently added warmth, genuine humor, and sincerity to every part she has portrayed, from her breakthrough performance as the endearing and quirky Sookie St. James on the popular TV series Gilmore Girls, to her leading role as the titular character in the popular sitcom, Mike and Molly. Although it wasn't without its difficulties, going from being well-liked on television to becoming a major star in films happened with ease. After her memorable performance as Megan in Bridesmaids, everyone knew she was prepared for leading parts in major motion pictures. Her most recent role was as Ursula in Disney's live-action adaptation of The Little Mermaid. She had previously acted in The Heat with Sandra Bullock, Identity Thief with Jason Bateman, Tammy, which she co-wrote with her husband, and the controversial but adored Ghostbusters revival. Melissa's distinctiveness in the entertainment industry extends beyond her evident comic abilities. It's her candor, empathy, and extraordinary bravery, particularly when discussing body image, self-acceptance, and the unattainable expectations society, particularly Hollywood, places on women. In ways that would never, ever happen to male musicians of the same height and success, she has been questioned, criticized, and even attacked about her appearance and weight throughout her career. She has handled these unpleasant and frequently cruel circumstances with great grace. She has also shown great courage by pointing out the glaring injustice in the entertainment sector. A male writer frequently made derogatory remarks about her weight and girth during what should have been a routine promotional interview. This scenario was completely improper and quite hurtful. The reporter's rudeness and lack of professionalism were surprising. They repeatedly asked her the same demeaning question. "Are you shocked that someone this big works in this business?" Melissa later described how the blood in her face dried up during this extremely uncomfortable and humiliating circumstance. She maintained her composure and continued to focus on her job, the script, and her collaborations with directors and other performers despite her astonishment and hurt. Following the interview, the producer approached Melissa and expressed regret. He expressed his regret for the incident and assured her that the derogatory remarks would never be used again. However, Melissa experienced this type of treatment on a regular basis. She had witnessed it frequently while working. She has been forthright and honest about how this type of impolite questioning occurs, frequently to female employees in the entertainment industry. However, male artists with comparable or larger bodies are rarely, if ever, subjected to negative treatment or judgment due to their appearance. She was asked repeatedly at a large press conference by a reporter from a major news outlet why she felt the need to be so hideous in her film parts. This was yet another painful and well-publicized event. About 100 people, including journalists, publicists, and business employees, witnessed this attack. According to that person, she had untidy hair, a lack of cosmetics, and a terrible appearance. They also claimed that she acted badly. She performed extremely loudly and rudely, and her hair was awful. Melissa's response to being publicly humiliated was powerful and well-considered. In a cool but forceful voice, she informed him that he would never pose such questions to a man actor doing a comparable role. She informed him that the women in her parts were modeled after actual women in the world, and that if he didn't think these people were real and worthy of being portrayed, he should go out more. These difficult and occasionally terrible experiences have made Melissa a stronger and more vocal advocate for body positivity, truthful representations in Hollywood, and equitable treatment of all performers, regardless of their appearance. She has raised awareness of issues that many people would prefer to ignore, or pretend don't exist by using her platform and notoriety. She has been quite forthright and honest about how difficult it has been for her to locate fashion designers that will create outfits for her for significant occasions, such as movie premieres, award ceremonies, and red carpet events. She spoke to 5 or 6 renowned designers who frequently create special gowns for A-list celebrities during the Academy Awards 2 years ago. They all declared that they would not collaborate with her. There was no issue with the budget, the timeline, or the inventiveness that led to this rejection. She didn't fit their limited notion of who should wear their clothing, that's all. Melissa came out about how difficult it is for women who don't fit business norms to be confined because she was repeatedly rejected by the fashion industry. According to her, several clothing sizes appeared to be manufactured like tarps with holes in them. Everything appeared to be traditional mother-of-the-bride attire, designed to conceal rather than to accentuate or honor the wearer. She rarely found clothing that she loved and felt comfortable wearing. Rather than a trash bag, she was forced to make do with items that were just on. Millions of women worldwide may identify with her reasonable yet depressing perspective on fashion. Melissa decided to take action and assist in finding a solution because of these discouraging restrictions and pervasive discrimination in the industry. She began by designing clothing for the large plus-size fashion retailer Lane Bryant. She launched Melissa McCarthy 77, her own full-line fashion brand, in 2015. She had a simple yet compelling reason for wanting to work in fashion. Given that 70% of women in the US wear sizes 14 or larger, why should these women feel inferior, out of style, or forced to make do with less than ideal clothing? The fashion industry's persistent disregard for and exclusion of its largest potential clientele struck her as odd and detrimental to business. Despite the 77 line's discontinuation, Melissa continues to work on new fashion collaborations and projects. She has been many shapes and sizes throughout her adult life. She understands how annoying it is to want to dress in stylish, up-to-date clothing that fits well, is comfortable, and gives you a sense of confidence and beauty. Here's the problem, though. Contrary to popular belief, Melissa's problematic relationship with her weight and body image started much earlier in life. Unfortunately, this is true for a lot of women and girls. She can now reflect on her adolescence and realize that, despite being a healthy size 6 and an active high school student who participated in many sports like gymnastics and tennis, she was constantly concerned about her weight. Photographs from this era depict a young woman who was obviously in excellent physical condition. She was energetic, athletic, and fit. Her recollections of that period are nevertheless replete with anxiety and self-doubt around her appearance. Her life altered when she relocated to Los Angeles and joined the Groundlings comedy group, which is when she began to gain the significant amount of weight that people would later discuss. She used to lead an active life and frequently travel considerable distances, but nowadays she spends much of her time indoors, attending meetings and sitting in cars. Additionally, she began eating prepared, fast food instead of the fresh, home-cooked meals she had grown up with. She gained almost 25 pounds throughout this period. She didn't really comprehend what was happening until it became evident. To her, even though the transformation occurred gradually, Melissa experimented with various methods to maintain her health, get in shape, and manage her weight in the years that followed. Piloxing, a novel kind of exercise that combines the advantages of boxing and Pilates to strengthen the core and enhance cardiovascular health, helped her lose 30 pounds in 2011. She put a lot of effort into training with martial arts teachers to be in shape for the fight scenes in the 2015 action comedy Spy, which had a physically demanding role. After landing the role of Sookie on Gilmore Girls, which launched her career, she performed one of the most spectacular things. During 4 months of a doctor-supervised all-liquid diet, she shed 70 pounds. Although it didn't work soon, she has been completely honest about the fact that this wasn't sustainable or healthful. She would never advise anyone to try this strategy because she frequently felt hungry and insane. Over the past few years, Melissa has lately shed roughly 75 pounds, but her approach is now far more sustainable and well-balanced. She has concentrated on choosing better foods and increasing her daily exercise, instead of attempting to enforce rigid rules or take drastic measures. Whenever asked about her approach, Melissa has always responded honestly. She reportedly ridiculed the notion that her secret was to lead a very dull life, avoid overindulging, go to bed early, and maintain excellent habits. Although it was said in jest, it demonstrates an adult perspective on health that prioritizes regularity above spectacle. Perhaps most significantly, Melissa has learned to stop obsessing about her weight in ways that have damaged and not helped her. She clearly decided to stop on her own volition. Stop being so severe and unforgiving with her fitness and health objectives. Stop obsessing over every meal choice. And stop worrying about the scale all the time. The most significant factor that has kept her healthy throughout time has been this shift in perspective. She was able to make decisions based on what made her feel good, rather than what other people felt she should do by letting go of the stress, concern, and desire to continuously check in with herself that had been influencing her relationship with food and exercise. Naturally, she applies this healthier mindset to the way she and her husband, Ben Falcone, frequently collaborate, raise their 2 adolescent kids, Georgette and Vivian. As a mother, Melissa is committed to teaching her daughters positive behaviors and attitudes rather than worrying about their appearance, weight, or conformity to social ideals of beauty. Healthy home-cooked meals, such as vegetable soups they prepare together, are always available in the kitchen of the McCarthy-Falcone family. They avoid processed diets and emphasize the use of nutritious, fresh veggies. However, they also adopt a balanced stance that permits individuals to enjoy special occasions and delicacies without feeling guilty or awful. Above all, Melissa has made it plain that she never wants her daughters to struggle with their body image or feelings. She has been told that she would rather be struck in the face than have her children feel self-conscious about their appearance. She understands that many girls and women feel self-conscious when they compare themselves to the select few who fit Hollywood's conventional ideals of beauty. She is determined to break this cycle in her own family and instill in her daughters the values of self-acceptance and confidence. Melissa is currently concentrating on improving her health and well-being rather than hitting a specific weight target for the next phase of her journey. Regarding the changes she has made to her life and her long-term health goals, she has been unexpectedly open with her admirers. Melissa has had a significant role in the entertainment industry's significant advancements in representation and acceptance. A formidable force for good in Hollywood and beyond, the tough farm girl from Illinois began performing stand-up in small venues. How do you feel about Melissa's journey thus far? Remember to like and subscribe if you would want to. Read more stories that will astonish and thrill you.